Hello, and welcome back to Scrum Study. In the last video, you learned about the first principle governing Scrum, empirical process control. In this segment, we'll be exclusively talking about the second principle, self-organization. Scrum supports the idea that employees are self-motivated and that they seek to accept greater responsibility. So they deliver much greater value when self-organized. Have you heard of servant leadership? This is exactly what we prefer to have in Scrum-controlled projects. The preferred leadership style in Scrum is servant leadership, which emphasizes achieving results by focusing on the needs of the Scrum team. Moreover, self-organization doesn't mean that team members are allowed to act in any manner they want to. Rather, it means that once the product vision is defined in the Create Project Vision process, the product owner, Scrum Master, and Scrum team get identified. Also, the Scrum core team itself works very closely with relevant stakeholders for refining requirements as they go through the Develop Epics and Create User Stories processes. Team expertise is used to assess the inputs needed to execute the planned work of the project. This judgment and expertise are applied to all technical and management aspects of the project during the Create Deliverables process. Although prioritization is primarily done by the product owner who represents the voice of the customer, the self-organized Scrum team is involved in task breakdown and estimation during the Identify tasks and Estimate tasks processes. During these processes, each team member is responsible for determining what he or she will be doing. During a sprint, if team members need any help completing their tasks, they announce these needs during the daily stand-up meetings. The Scrum team itself interacts with other teams through the Scrum of Scrums, or SOS meetings, and can look for additional guidance as required from the Scrum guidance body. Finally, the Scrum team and Scrum Master work closely to demonstrate the product increment created during the sprint in the Demonstrate and Validate sprint process, where properly completed deliverables are accepted. Since the deliverables are potentially shippable, and the prioritized product backlog is prioritized by user stories in the order of value created by them, the product owner and the customer can clearly visualize and articulate the value being created after every sprint. And Scrum teams, in turn, have the satisfaction of seeing their hard work being accepted by the customer and other stakeholders. Now let's take a closer look at the chief goals of self-organizing teams. They understand the project vision and why the project delivers value to the organization. They estimate user stories during the Estimate User Stories process and assign tasks to themselves during the Create Sprint Backlog process. They identify tasks independently during the Identify task process. They apply and leverage their expertise from being a cross-functional team to work on the tasks during the Create Deliverable process. They deliver tangible results that are accepted by the customer and other stakeholders during the Demonstrate and Validate sprint process. They resolve individual problems together by addressing them during daily stand-up meetings. They clarify any discrepancies or doubts and remain open to learning new things. They upgrade knowledge and skill on a continuous basis through regular interactions within the team. And they maintain stability of team members throughout the duration of the project by not changing out team members unless it's unavoidable. To clarify more on this, here we have a diagram depicting the goals of a self-organizing team. In contrast to the traditional command and control style of management, Scrum supports the idea that today's workers have much more knowledge to offer than just their technical expertise, and they can deliver greater value when they're self-organized. And with that, we conclude yet another session on the Scrum principles. I hope this session has informed you on the Scrum principle of self-organization. I look forward to seeing you in the next segment on another Scrum principle. Thanks for watching. Hello, and welcome back to Scrum Study, Principles of Scrum. In this session, we'll discuss an important concept, collaboration in Scrum. Collaboration refers to the Scrum core team working together and interfacing with the stakeholders to create and validate the deliverables of the project to meet the goals outlined in the project vision. It's important to note the difference between cooperation and collaboration here. Cooperation occurs when the worked product consists of the sum of the work efforts of various people on a team. Collaboration occurs when a team works together to play off each other's inputs to produce something greater. There are 3 core dimensions of collaborative work. Let's look at them one by one. The first core dimension is awareness. It essentially means that individuals working together need to be aware of each other's work. The next dimension is articulation. Collaborating individuals must divide work into units, distribute those units among team members, and then, after the work is done, reintegrate the units into a cohesive whole. The last core dimension is appropriation, which refers to adapting technology to one's own situation. The technology may be used in a manner completely different than expected by the designers. Now that we have an understanding of collaboration and its core dimensions, let's consider the key benefits of collaboration in Scrum projects. The Agile Manifesto stresses customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Thus, the Scrum framework adopts an approach in which the Scrum core team members, the product owner, Scrum Master, and Scrum team, collaborate with each other and the stakeholders to create the deliverables that provide the greatest possible value to the customer. This collaboration occurs throughout the project. Collaboration ensures that the following benefits are realized. The need for bringing about changes due to poorly clarified requirements is minimized. For example, during the Create Project Vision, Develop Epics, and Create Prioritize Product Backlog processes, the product owner collaborates with stakeholders to create the project vision, epics, and prioritize product backlog, respectively. This will ensure that there's clarity among Scrum core team members on the work that's required to complete the project. The Scrum team collaborates continuously with the product owner and stakeholders through a transparent, prioritized product backlog to create the project deliverables. The processes conduct daily stand-up, groom prioritized product backlog, and retrospect sprint provide scope to the Scrum core team members to discuss what's been done and collaborate on what needs to be done. Thus, the number of change requests from the customer and rework is minimized. The second benefit is that risks are identified and dealt with efficiently. For example, risks to the project are identified and assessed in the Develop Epics, Create Deliverables, and Conduct Daily Stand-Up processes by the Scrum core team members. The Scrum meeting tools such as the Daily Stand-Up meeting, Sprint, Planning meeting, Prioritize Product Backlog Review meeting, and so on provide opportunities to the team to not only identify and assess risks, but also to implement risk responses to high-priority risks. A third benefit is that the true potential of the team is realized. For example, conducting the daily stand-up process provides scope for the Scrum team to collaborate and understand the strengths and weaknesses of its members. If a team member has missed a task deadline, the Scrum team members align themselves collaboratively to complete the task and meet the targets agreed to for completing the sprint. A fourth benefit is that continuous improvement is ensured through lessons learned in collaboration. For example, the Scrum team uses the retrospect sprint process to identify what went well and what didn't go well in the previous sprint. This provides opportunity to the Scrum Master to work with the team and rework and improve the team for the next scheduled sprint. This will also ensure that collaboration is even more effective in the next sprint. Pause this video if you wish to study the displayed diagram. It provides an illustration of the benefits of collaboration in Scrum projects. We'll now consider the importance of co-location in collaboration. For many of the Scrum practices, high bandwidth communication is required. To enable this, it's preferred that team members are co-located. Co-location allows both formal and informal interactions between team members. This provides the advantage of having team members always at hand for coordination, problem solving, and learning. One of the key benefits of co-location is that it allows questions to get answered quickly. Another benefit is that problems are fixed on the spot. With co-location, less friction occurs between interactions. In collaborative, co-located teams, trust is gained and given more quickly. There are collaboration tools that can be used for co-located or distributed items. For co-located teams, those working in the same office, a preferred collaboration tool is face-to-face communications. Co-located teams can also use decision rooms or war rooms, scrum boards, wall displays, shared tables, and so on. Although co-located teams are preferred, at times the Scrum team may be distributed due to outsourcing, offshoring, work-from-home options, and so forth. From distributed teams, some tools that could be used for effective collaboration include video conferencing, instant messaging, chats, social media, shared screens, and software tools which simulate the functionality of Scrum boards, wall displays, and so on. And with